Good. All right, so first question. What distinguishes the sacrament of reconciliation from the other sacraments?
Well, reconciliation is one of the two sacraments of healing, and we have some sacraments which we do at the beginning, like baptism, First Communion, and confirmation. That kind of prepares us, gets us into the church. We have two sacraments of commitment, which would be marriage and holy orders. Then there's two sacraments of healing, and one would be reconciliation, the other would be the sacrament of the sick. And the reconciliation kind of comes from our being baptized, being having original sin removed, but then after we've been baptized, and we can make choices that are not consistent with God and what God would like us to do, but we have the opportunity of making it right by going to reconciliation, telling what those things where we need God's help is, and then receiving absolution from the priest. So it kind of ties back to holy orders, because through holy orders the priest is given the responsibility of giving not his forgiveness but God's forgiveness.
Do you prefer confession box or face-to-face?
Absolutely face-to-face. I find the confession box spooky, and even my side, which has a light, is just strange. I'm sitting there pulling one window, and then also, where is this person? It's just, I think it's, and if some people are comfortable there, I mean, that's great. But like if I'm at a reconciliation service and I have a choice to be in the box or not, I would always choose not to be in the box. And I realize that some people like that anonymity, but I'll tell you a terrible secret. Half the time I know who's on the other side anyway, just from their voice or what they're saying. And so, but you know, we want to make people comfortable. And but I'm more comfortable myself when I go to reconciliation, you know, to do it face to face, and you can tell a lot by people's expression, and it just to me is just more natural, and I certainly understand the tradition of the black box, but I have older people who can't get in and out of it, you know, and people who can't kneel, and so that it's very awkward. And so someday we will have appropriate reconciliation chapels where you will have the option of being face to face or behind a screen.
Okay. What is it like receiving and administering reconciliation, like the feeling of it?
Well, I think when I was ordained, I knew that Eucharist would be kind of the aha moment, and but I was surprised that reconciliation and sacrament of the sick were as meaningful to me. Most reconciliations are pretty straightforward. You know, I was impatient. I yelled at the kids. I, you know, got mad at my wife. The wife, you know, got impatient with the kids, and round. But once in a while, you'll get something that you're just glad you could be there at that moment. I've had, like in this last 2 weeks, some, I would say, kind of life-changing ones. One woman had been away for over 40 years. She had a very abusive marriage, just had really kind of given up on the church, and just kind of thought that God didn't care, and so, you know, it was a little longer one by appointment, but I think we really were able to get through things. And one thing I emphasize, it's harder for us to forgive ourselves sometimes than it is for God to forgive us. And when I go to reconciliation, trust me, priests don't usually like to go to reconciliation because we're supposed to be good, you know. But I, first of all, choose what I would consider a kind priest. I wouldn't want to go to somebody who would beat me up, and I wouldn't expect any of you to go to a priest that's going to beat you up. I mean, but I also want someone who holds me accountable. And to tell you the truth, the reconciliation I did before Easter, I thought he was too easy on me. But you know, it was, I expressed where I felt I needed help, and it was valid. It just I would have liked and it was not someone I usually go to, but I what I hope for people is that they it's supposed to be a celebration, not a forced march, and that they feel lighter, they feel different when they leave, and I don't appreciate when parents make kids go to confession. I think it should be something they want to do. And in fact, I think it diminishes the effect of the sacrament when people are just doing it because Dad said I had to or Mom said I had to.
And then, if anything, what would you change to make the sacrament of reconciliation maybe a little different?
Well, the first thing I preach often about, that reconciliation is a celebration. If people have had a bad experience, a priest who was judgmental or kind of hard on them, I'm sorry for that, and hopefully they thought they were doing good, but they will not have that experience here. I have a kind of a deal that I learned from Monsignor Dennis O'Donovan, and he would tell the people, if they ever have a bad experience of reconciliation, and that was at St. Cecilia's Parish, to let him know, and that priest would not be back for reconciliation. And there was one priest in a religious order, not Jesuit, but who was hard on people. He was there doing a parish mission, and a couple of people went to him. So he called the provincial and said that priest would never be back in the parish as long as he was pastor, and nor would any priest from that order. And so, he really meant it. And I haven't had to do that yet, but if I hear that someone is, because we invite people to go, we tell them it's going to be a good, I say we're going to have kind priests, and then if that makes me a liar, I want people to want to go, and but I think just reinforcing the fact it's not how bad you've been, it's just recognizing we need God's help. We can't do it by ourselves.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay?
Yep.
Did we get our 5 minutes?
Yeah. That's
Cool.
good.